Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Section 12-4, Inscribed Angles. Find the measure of an inscribed angle and use inscribed angles and their properties to solve problems. New vocabulary: inscribed angle, intercepted arc, and subtend. We have 4 fairly quick warm-up questions, so I'm going to have you pause the video and work them, then turn the video back on when you're ready to check your answers. See you back in a minute. Question number 1 uses the exterior angles theorem, where the measure of an exterior angle is the sum of the 2 remote interior angles. So you may remember that. Questions 3 and 4 were just some simple algebraic solving using some of the properties that we have learned and we also learned in Algebra 1. We've got a few new terms. An inscribed angle is an angle whose vertex is on the circle and whose sides contain chords of the circle. An intercepted arc consists of endpoints that lie on the sides of an inscribed angle and all the points of the circle between them. So this is our intercepted arc. And we say a chord or arc subtends an angle if its endpoints lie on the sides of the angle. So this is where DF subtends angle DEF. Theorem 12-4-1, the inscribed angle theorem, says that the measure of an inscribed angle is going to be half the measure of the intercepted arc. You can see in case 1, case 2, and case 3, we have an endpoint or a vertex B, which is on the circle, and when we want to try to find the measure of the angle, it's going to be 1/2 whatever the arc measurement is in degrees. Let's take a look at example 1. In example 1, we want to find the measure of the arc and the inscribed angle. So we start out with find each measure. Part A says we want to find the measure of angle PRU. PRU is this angle right here. We're going to start out by writing down our formula. So the measure of angle PRU is equal to 1/2 the measure of, and this is where the intercepted arc comes in. So that is going to be 1/2 of 118 degrees, and that means that the measure of angle PRU is 59 degrees. In part B, we want to find the measure of arc SP, and we know that it's got a relationship with the measure of angle PRS. The relationship is the measure of angle PRS is equal to 1/2 the measure of arc SP. Let's substitute in. Measure of angle PRS is 27 degrees, and that is 1/2 the measure of arc SP. So that means we multiply both sides by 2, and we end up with the measure of arc SP is equal to 54 degrees. There's a corollary to the theorem that we just learned, and it says if inscribed angles of a circle intercept the same arc. So let's see what they mean by that. So we can see angle ACB intercepts arc AB, and we see that angle ADB intercepts that same angle AB. So if inscribed angles of a circle intercept the same arc or are subtended by the same chord or arc, then the angles are congruent. In this diagram, we also see that angle AEB intercepts that same arc AB. So all 3 of those angles, ACB, ADB, and AEB, all intercept arc AB, and that means that they are all congruent. Let's take a look now at example 2. An art student turns in an abstract design for his art project, and we want to find the measure of angle DFA. We have some different opportunities to find the measure of angle DFA. One of the things that we can recognize is that we do have vertical angles right here, with angle DFA. So if we can find the measure of angle CFD, then we have got the measure of angle DFA. We also see that we have this measure of angle DCF of 33 degrees. Another thing that we see is this angle measurement of 164 degrees. That is the measure of arc BC or arc CB. The reason that that information is useful is because of the relationship with angle CDB, which is going to measure 1/2 of the intercepted arc. So that's going to be helpful because we can also look at angle DFA as an exterior angle from the triangle that we just created, triangle CDF. And the exterior angle theorem told us that the measurement of an exterior angle is the sum of the measures of the remote interior angles. So let's put all that information together to find the measure of angle DFA. The measure of angle DFA ends up being equal to 115 degrees because of that exterior angle theorem that I just mentioned. This is not a super straightforward question because we have to put together a lot of information that we've learned in the past, but it's not a hard question as long as we can keep our work organized. There's a new theorem about inscribed angles on the next page, so let's take a look. Theorem 12-4-3 says, an inscribed angle subtends a semicircle if and only if the angle is a right angle. In example 3, we're going to be able to use that theorem, so we're going to be finding angle measures in inscribed angles. We want to find the value of A, which is a variable used in the expression for angle WZY. Okay, so looking at our diagram, we see that there is a semicircle. Segment or chord WY goes through the center X, so that means we've got a semicircle. And we know that segment ZW and ZY subtend the semicircle. That means that Z is a right angle. And the measure of angle Z, therefore, is 90 degrees. We have an expression for the measure of angle Z, and it's 5A plus 20 degrees. So this means we're going to be able to solve for A. So 90 minus 20 is 70, and that's equal to 5A, so that means A is going to be equal to 70 over 5, which is 14. Let's take a look at question B. We've got an angle LJM, which subtends arc LM, and we've got inscribed angle LKM, which also subtends arc LM. Since both of these angles subtend the same arc, they have to be congruent. So we can set those expressions equal to each other to solve for B. Our objective from the very beginning was to find the measure of angle LJM. So now that we have B, we can plug in and find it. So the measure of angle LJM is going to be 10.5 degrees. The last theorem for this lesson is on the next page, so let's take a look. Theorem 12-4-4 says, if a quadrilateral is inscribed in a circle, you can see the diagram shows that, then its opposite angles are supplementary. Now this means that the quadrilateral has to intersect the circle at all 4 corners, and this says that the opposite angles are supplementary, meaning that we would be able to find the measure of angle D by subtracting angle B from 180. Likewise with angles A and C. Opposite angles are going to be supplementary. Why is that true? The sum of the interior angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degrees. Let's take a look at example 4, the last example in this lesson. In example 4, we've got quadrilateral GHJK inscribed in the circle, And that means that we've got some pairs of supplementary angles. The opposite angles are going to be supplementary. We want to find all four angle measures, but we're going to start by setting up an equation adding the measure of angle J and the measure of angle G to a total of 180 degrees. And then we can solve for B. So we combine like terms. We're going to have 9b on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side we're going to have 180 minus 45, giving us 135, which means b is equal to 15. Now remember, this is only an intermediate value that we have found. We need to plug into all of those expressions to find the measure of all four angles. So the measure of angle G is going to be equal to 3 times b, which is 15, plus 25, giving us 70 degrees. Measure of angle J is 6 times 15 plus 20, giving us an angle measurement of 110 degrees. The measure of angle K is 10 times 15 minus 69, which gives us an angle measurement of 81 degrees. And the measure of angle H is 180 minus the measure of angle K. So that means it's going to be 180 minus 81, or 99 degrees. Time to get started on homework. Bring any questions that you've got to class.